her live on the YouTube any second now. Good. Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And welcome to Star Wars Rebels Revisited. Good to see you all today. Sorry, we're running a little late. We had a crisis management meeting.
Did we ever?
Sorts. Yeah.
By the way, everyone wave to Jeff before he goes to invisible.
Whoops.
We love Jeff. Jeff and Ashlee and I were just talking about the big news of the timing with Andor being moved to September 21st. So it's not just Andor August, hence the question mark. It is Andor. It's Andor August plus, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We had some extra weeks on this.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to figure out how to stretch this content out, but we can get it done. It will be done.
I have some ideas, and we were talking about that earlier of like, what else would we add to this lineup? Hi, everyone. Hi, Jen and Sarah and Jeff. We're going to give everyone a few minutes to catch up since we were a couple minutes late. We are going to do a watch along tonight of Ghosts of Geonosis, which is a Saw Gerrera episode, a double episode of Rebels. We just saw earlier this morning during my Good Morning America situation. Did you watch live, Ashlee?
I did not. I saw it as soon as it dropped online. It would have been cool to see on Good Morning America, but I was being a little lazy post-con today. So
I was, so we have a couple things to talk about. We have to talk about the con because you were there with some VCN family.
Yeah.
And then we've got to talk about the Andor trailer, and we have to talk about the episode during the episode. I swear, people, I will stay on topic. I'm going to try.
You'll do a pretty good job. I know.
Yeah, well, and we'll give it a couple minutes. I think we'll probably click play on the episode at about 10 after, since we are doing a double. Hey, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
So, Ashlee, go. First reaction to the trailer. What do you think?
Holy crap, this is a movie. That's what I'm telling you. This is cinematic. It is amazing. The music is brilliant. Stellan Skarsgård, like, he and Saw Gerrera, his character in Saw Gerrera, they're just like commanding. And it's cool that it starts off that we get to see little Cassian and, like, you know, sneaking into an Imperial ship from what it looks like, and kind
infiltrating.
And giving tips on how to break into Imperial property.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah, just incredible cast, incredibly shot, like so cinematic. I am so excited.
Same. I thought it looked expensive.
Very expensive.
And actually, I thought it looked, not to compare, I thought it looked more expensive than Obi-Wan Kenobi. It felt bigger, like it was actually filmed on sets, or not sets, filmed on location and on sets.
Right.
There's a clear difference between the native population of every planet and the Imperials who are oppressing them, and it comes through in the costuming, which, not just because I'm in that space, I do want to talk about that later. I don't have a Ruby's rollout, but I do have a Ruby's ideation. So maybe we'll throw that in the discussion board later too.
Sorry, Spencer.
These headphones are killing me because they keep disappearing. It makes my face look very svelte, though, doesn't it? I think one day I'm just going to leave my background on because it's all Star Wars junk behind me anyway. So yeah, we've got this new trailer. You were saying it looked very cinematic. It focused a lot on Cassian, but also Stellan Skarsgård. But our girl Mon Mothma coming through.
She totally is, and you know, it's her realizing that she's not going to just get it done with being, you know, a senator and a representative of the government. She's going to have to bend the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure. It was also really cool to see, kind of like, and I was talking about this earlier, a Game of Thrones-ing to this, where the Empire looked like the Lannisters to me, like they're celebrating their successes. They're like fat cats, and and they
use that word too.
Fat,
it was like fat and something,
and satisfied or something. I almost said fat and sassy because that's just what it is.
That's my life goal. And by the way, I saw something online on the fat thing. Sure. I don't think it was a body shaming thing. I think it was like ostentatious. They actually have food, and I think there are other people who are like dirty and hungry. That came up during the first trailer where it was a whole discussion point. I'd like to sort of shut that down, but not that's what I thought anyway, but continue.
Right. And it's basically they're starving a planet to benefit their own resources. Like they're draining the planet's resources for the native tribes to benefit themselves. And it's typical colonialism, words. And it's just cool to see because you're actually getting a sense of how big and how bad the Empire is post Revenge of the Sith.
And how small the rebellion is.
Absolutely.
That scale shot of the first big ship flying and that one woman looking up, like that's what it feels like. It's just me against this like flying city. The odds are not in our favor, that's for sure. And it seems like an impossible situation. And even Mothma, who's in it, I like her thing too about like, if people find me mildly irritating, so they don't know what I'm up to. So she has her own little cover story, but even it seems impossible for her. And she's someone in a position of power, like right under the nose of the Emperor.
Kind of like how Leia is later. Like Mon Mothma might have trained Leia how to stay covert and be a face of the public.
Oh, for sure. And of course, Bale's involved a lot, and Brea. I don't know how much Brea, but certainly a lot of Bale. I'm assuming Brea in a big way too. But there was one of the books, I think it was Leia, Princess of Alderaan, where they talk about her going to like senator school, right? Like they train you for this stuff. And we saw it in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series when she was a child. They're like, oh, we're going to prepare you for a life in politics. So she probably took classes from Mon Mothma, how interesting is that? Because you also have to like find each other and be like, so I'm teaching you this thing, but also we're going to overthrow the government, right? And you're in. Like, how do you make that connection? I want to be I want to join that class.
Yes,
that sign us really up. Fun. Yeah. I love that line too, Sherry. I thought the trailer got me even more excited for Andor as a series and a potential multi-season series. Like we had talked about maybe like Fulcrum as an idea that goes for many seasons, but even if we just stay with Andor and this particular group, the group is really interesting. Mon Mothma has got a lot of layers to her. And as Sherry mentioned, she's not just in that one white dress. She's got a lot of costume changes and probably a lot of hats to wear and a lot of deception to make. Saw Gerrera was there. What do you think when you saw Forrest Whitaker? Were you surprised? Or, I mean, I feel like we've known / believed he's in this thing for a while, right?
Yeah, we totally believe that he was on board with this, but it's cool to see him without the breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
And like kind of looking like a cyborg, like we see him later in Rogue One and partially to an extent in Ghost of Geonosis. It's kind of curious because maybe we'll see how he got to that point in this series. That would be really awesome.
Yeah. I read in the visual dictionary because, as you know, I'm a big nerd and can't stop doing homework. That his breathing apparatus thing, it was in the Rogue, I think it was the Rogue One visual dictionary or the guide or whatever the book was called. That it was from poison on Geonosis. So exposure. And we find out in this episode that he was left there for like 2 cycles, but I think it's lunar cycles, not year-long cycles, because he couldn't have been there for 2 years based on the timeline. It like just didn't make sense. And 2 months makes more sense for like someone to be like missing that you'd go like chase after them. And we're going to get into that. In fact, when the timer hits 9:15, we will jump into the first episode and we may play them back to back pretty quickly, given that like we're doing a double episode and we started a couple minutes late, but we will just talk through and pretend to stay on topic like we always do.
We'll do our best.
Yeah. But it was cool to see him. There was someone else, by the way. It looked like Terrence Stamp was in that trailer.
That's what I thought it was, but
the math doesn't work on that man's age. I just think it's someone who looks a lot like him. And I already saw one YouTube person say that's not Chancellor Valorum, which I agreed. Like if I just at first glance, I was like, oh, that dude looks like Terrence Stamp. And the problem is that like you also put him in Coruscant talking to like the one politician we know. So I was like, could you be any other character, please, sir?
But well, I wouldn't say they de-aged him. Well, maybe, I don't know.
But he would need to be older from the last time we saw him.
That's
so
true.
If he was in episode 1 and he was already old, like it for me, it just didn't make sense unless there's something I don't know. And look, there's a lot that I don't know. I don't even really know why Valorum would be in there, except I know that he was sort of a victim of the manipulations of Palpatine, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's in someone who would help found the rebellion. I don't know. I don't know.
You
What do you
never
guys
know.
think?
We didn't
Yeah.
think Callus would do it either, but
Yeah.
surprise.
Oh, by the way, as we start getting into Project Andor Plus, I think Major Callus is going to have to join the party. He was
Yes.
we've talked about him a little bit, but he may join the lineup. Hey, Scoob.
Hi, Scooby.
We got a nice little set of viewers tonight. I know David is very
Yeah.
excited about Saw Gerrera. And yes, exactly what's happening. That gap between Rogue One and Rebels.
Yes.
Andor sort of fits between there, at least it seems like. So this is going to be exciting to piece this all together. This is my favorite time period. I talk about it
I
all the time.
know.
The endless in between 3 and 4, and we are just stuffing it full of stuff. It starts with oh, that was the other thing. It's Bad Batch comes back on September 28th, so just a week later, which
Oh my
makes
God.
me wonder now.
We're
is
not going to
there
sleep.
something- No, I'm already like stressing. But do you think that part of the timing reason, not just maybe special effects and whatever else, was like delaying post-production? Is there a connectivity to Bad Batch that they wanted on top of each other, or a production order thing with Bad Batch that they needed to like more closely align this? They needed a Bad Batch episode to air before something happened in Andor, like something stupid like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And like that's an entirely possible thing. I mean, they're very close with the continuity and
Yeah.
what goes on with everything. So everything always ties together. So it's entirely possible. They're like, oh crap, they put this in Bad Batch. We need to adjust accordingly. But again, we'll
Right,
never
exactly.
know. They owe us nothing. They don't have to explain to us. But
I'm gonna ask everyone
it's gonna
on
be
the
good.
licensing side. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. This is gonna be my thing to infiltrate the mystery of.
Oh, infiltrating the Empire.
Yes. We better start the episode
Right.
because it is 9:15. So to everyone watching along, queue up your Disney Plus.
It is
Ashlee,
time.
you have the info on the episode, right?
Oh geez, the app just closed.
Oh
All
boy.
right. Sorry, you can read
Season 3.
it.
No, you're
Yep.
good. You're good. Season 3. Oh my God. My computer is, of course, being
Season
super slow.
3,
Episodes
episodes
12
and 13.
It's also right in the graphic that's staring us in the face. So we're
have
off to a
problems today.
killer start today. So Ghosts of Geonosis, everyone queued up. Do you want to count us down?
All right, people, we got it. It's at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. I always love when they start off with a ghost. It's like, where are you going now?
That's some kind of nonsense.
Oh, speaking of Bill.
Hmm.
Oh, I got to meet briefly Keone Young this weekend.
Oh, nice. He's someone
Yeah.
I've got to put on my Rebels like poster. He is deserving of being on the cast piece for sure.
And definitely. And Sabine decorating Zeb's armor. Rex does not look happy.
This episode features a really eclectic cast because you have Rex, who's from the Clone Wars, who would have encountered Saw Gerrera because we first meet Saw Gerrera during the Clone Wars episodes. So he probably got stories of him from, I almost said Ashlee, from Ahsoka. You know, his situation on Onderon was a big deal. Yeah, and Keone Young as Sato. I love Commander Sato. Like, I'm just a fan of that character and the actor too. He was at Celebration and I should have just gotten his autograph, but I didn't bring my cast piece with me. Like, I just didn't know, you know, if I was going to have time, and I should have just done it. I feel so stupid now.
It's okay. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He signed a couple of prints for Joe.
Oh, nice.
Now, do you think the result of the storms is from the Empire bombing Geonosis and, having that gas
I
be
think
there?
so.
Yeah.
There's a full scale, and I keep using this word. I don't mean to overuse it or make it feel like, but it is genocide. They killed
Yeah.
every bug on this planet except for one, the guy we're going to meet early in the episode, and he's got
Click-clack.
like a click clack, played by Matthew Wood. I remember because I
Of
think we are going to have him
course.
sign like as that character at one point. And he's got an egg with him, and apparently it's the last egg, like it's a queen egg. So the last of his species, like literally rests in his hands, and he has no way to communicate with Saw Gerrera or anyone else on the Ghost, because like he doesn't speak like basic like what they do, right? So there's like a lack of communication between them. And at one point we're going to see that come to fruition when he like literally draws the Death Star, and like they don't know what the hell they're talking about, or what the hell he's talking about. And like
But
we
it's
as
not the Death
viewers
Star.
know the circle he draws is definitely the Death Star.
No, it's the egg.
Mm-mm,
Is it?
mm-mm.
I always
No,
thought it was the egg.
he puts a circle in the circle. And that's why
Yeah.
all of them think it's the egg, because it's a circle, but like I think
Oh.
it's the Death Star. That's what I think
Okay.
anyway. I would assume.
No, I was always of like
Yeah.
two minds about it, but
Yeah.
okay.
Because that's what so I have some theories, right? And by the way, the Rebels Recon episode for this episode is actually really good. Andy goes around, it's a two-parter.
Yeah.
And I saw it on YouTube, and she talks to Pablo. And the last time we were on Geonosis chronologically prior to this was when Zeb and Callus were left here and had to like bond and like survive together.
Yeah.
And when the Rebels crew first arrives on Geonosis that time, you notice that we're like, hey, we're going to Geonosis, but there ain't no Death Star. And we as viewers find that shocking, because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, the Death Star was being built there. So once the hyperdrive was installed, they just moved it somewhere else because too many people were asking questions. And in the like after the Geonosians were done building the Death Star, they wiped them out once they served their purpose, which we just saw something incredibly similar on Camino with the clones. So like the Empire just like genocides. So I think we're going to see some of that in Andor too. Like I think they're going to like literally like not blow up the planet because they don't have a Death Star yet, but they will do the same thing they did to Camino, or they'll use poison gas to kill all the bugs. Like, they could do that. By the way, it works on people. Look at Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah, I was excited that they went back to Geonosis. Oh, hi, Robert. How dare you be talking about San Diego Comic-Con? That's so last week. Yeah.
It's cool, Robert. We'll let it slide this time.
Ashlee was just at a different con, and then we're talking about more coming up. So Ashlee, give everyone your tour schedule. You're like Lady Gaga right now with the amount of appearances.
I'm tired. We were just at Terrificon at Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut, which is an amazing casino. It's so beautiful there. Mitch Halleck, who is the showrunner, the creator of Terrificon, he is an amazing guy. He always has us out every year, and it was just cool to go back out there and get to see my family and so many fans and people who I'm friends with in the 501st. They came by. So like so many good guests. Like Keone was there. Adrienne Palicki, who played Mockingbird and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she's on the Orville, and she was in John Wick. She was there. So many awesome voice actors, and it was just really cool. Just fun to hang out. Classic comic artists, like the legends, go to that show because Mitch cast them really well, and it was good. So next weekend,
lineup looked really interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and next weekend is the big weekend because they got quite a Star Wars cast going to C2E2 in Chicago.
That's right. So all right, tell us
Yeah.
about C2E2, because I saw some new WWE, or not WWE, professional wrestling reviews.
Yeah.
It's Mercedes Renato, who is
Casca
aka Sasha
Reeves.
Banks. Yes, plays Casca in Mandalorian, and her tag team partner and one of her real life best friends, Trinity Fatu, also known as Naomi.
Yeah.
Love her.
Love
have for
her
a long
too.
time.
Yeah.
So they're both going to be there.
That's so
I would
fun.
go to meet them. Funny enough, looking at the whole list, but also like Rosario Dawson's going to be there.
Yes.
So like that's a big deal.
And Vivian Lyra Blair, who plays Little Leia in Kenobi,
Right.
It's her first show. She is adorable. Everyone, please protect her at all costs.
Yeah.
She is.
Bring her swag.
Bring her swag. She's amazing.
Bring her gifts.
So if you're going to meet her, please Yeah, and we also have Moses Ingram and
Yes.
Rupert Friend.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
it's a big cast.
when I went to Rhode Island Comic Con in 2016 and there was a ton of Star Wars people, I knew I was going for sort of partial work, but I wrote out thank you cards because a lot of them had done work for the company and whatever else.
Yeah.
But like they were talking about how they get a lot of gifts and they get a lot of junky gifts and they get a lot of weird gifts and they get a lot of gifts that are like kind of too personal. And honestly, like not these guys, but like I've seen in other cons, like gifts end up in the trash sometimes, but people will keep cards, anything 2D. So if you want to write a nice like fan note in a greeting card in an envelope, not sealed by the way, but and open it for them, you can give that to them. I think that's like a good gift. And I think someone like little Leia at her first con, like a congratulations card with like great job and congrats on your first con or something would be super cute.
And it would. And she's also doing a photo op with Rupert and Moses at the show. So that's going to be a really cool photo
I hope
op.
she's running in them and like they're trying to catch her. That'd be amazing.
Oh my God. If somebody gets that, let me know. I want to see photos. But yeah, she would be a must to see. It's just so many good. Steve Bloom is going to be there. Zeb, of course, that is huge in my opinion. See Zeb right here. Yeah.
I gotta get that. I gotta get that exact shirt because I need that shirt.
Oh man.
Tell Steve I said hi.
I will.
And give him a Rebels Revisited card. Invite him on the show. Do that too.
Oh my God. Him and Mary. Yeah.
And in no particular order, but like we love Governor Price so much. It's like, could we have them together? Would that be weird?
No, I don't think so. It'd make it easier for them. Just share the couch.
That's true. Robert is saying he went from over 1,800 photos down to 500. I'm assuming like 500, like ready to crop and edit and put in a book or something. I just dumped all my photos onto my hard drive and I'm at some point gonna maybe print a few of them. I mean, that one of me and Jim Lee, I just have to print and put at my desk just to make other people upset. Like that's the real, because I don't work on Batman, so it's a real slap in the face to all the like major DC people that I have a photo with Jim Lee more than anything else.
Oh no, I appreciate you for it and I commend you for it.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited about all things Batman that's coming, though. I'm like very excited about like the many streams of Batman that DC has going because it is like a wild multiverse, which is the exact opposite of Marvel and Star Wars, which is very streamlined. It's funny, they actually really do like the one protected timeline. No, I know we're off topic again. I totally off topic. Sorry.
No, they just did like a whole like Predator, like Carl Weathers, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like arm touch, and I was just like, oh my God. Filoni threw that in there. I know it.
Oh yeah, he loves his sci-fi horror and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, this whole episode is beautiful and shot really well, and it's dark and interesting, and it sets a tone. Like this was the season 3 mid-series premiere. So after like the mid-series finale, this came back, and it was after Rogue One had come out. So we had seen Forrest Whitaker in the movie portray this character, and now we're getting the flashback to him. So I actually thought it was like a little bit confusing for like a casual fan, but I think that I have a suspicion that they extended Rebels by like a season or a half season with Rogue One content to tie to the movie specifically, and they threw this stuff in there to like beefing up the expansion of the rebellion and how Rebels connects to it. And I appreciate it because I think some of the best content in all of Rebels is the stuff that ties to Rogue One.
Absolutely, and they even use Rebels in Rogue One, so it's a mutual tie-in, and it's so beneficial to the story and the richness of the canon. Honestly, I was so happy that they did.
You will love this then. So rewatch the Rebels Recon. And this is what I forgot to say earlier when I was talking about it, when Andy was talking about Ghost of Geonosis. They do a little bit with live action Chopper because live action Chopper was in Rogue One. And so he's coming back from London and he's being a diva because he's the star of Rogue One. Oh my God. I was cracking up. So guys, do yourself a favor and find these Rebels Recons. It is so funny.
Or if you have the Blu-rays of Star Wars Rebels, all the recons are on there, and it's definitely worth watching.
See, that's when I should get signed. It's the Blu-ray. But now I've got the Art of Rebels book, and I'm already working on my cast piece. By the way, I'm working on this cast piece since as long as I'm a licensee. Like, it's a little ridiculous at this point. Like, I need to just like land the plane and like add the like 6 or 7 people that need to really go there.
So I found a Star Wars Rebels 2014 Star Wars Weekends messenger bag at this convention, and it was signed by the cast of Rebels, and it was Tia, Freddie, Taylor, Vanessa, Steve, I think Filoni, to be honest with you. It was a lot of signatures on that bag, and they wanted like $700 for it. And I'm like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
it made me go on eBay and find one. And I found one bag that was unsigned, but it still had all the tags, and I had to buy it.
How much was the bag, if you don't mind me asking?
It was $55, but you know what? It's Rebels, and it was worth it.
I think that's well worth it, especially because I think when you showed me that bag, I had never seen that bag before. It was all orange, which is my jam. That's my color.
Yeah.
That's one of my fraternity colors, which is why I wear so much orange. But I love orange, and I'm actually one of the, like, it actually works for me. It doesn't work on every person. And it's like, orange is usually like a heinous color. But like that bag is super cool. I was like, if you start a new piece, you're going to meet these people at shows coming up, and you're always on the circuit. As I was saying, you're Lady Gaga with all your tour stops. Like you'll be able to meet some of them.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So you met VCN people at Mohegan. So talk about that.
Oh yeah. Spencer, Carl Nordstrom, like so many of our VCN family came out for the VCN meetup at Game On. That was really cool on Saturday night. It was good to see everybody and be able to have dinner and just hang out for a while. And
that's awesome.
Listen to music, watch people play video games. It's cool.
That's what Rhode Island Comic-Con became. I was telling people constantly, I was like, the best part was the meetup. Yeah. And we weren't even, this is when I was just first ideating, like maybe there could be a show. And that's how they got me into the co-hosting on Follow the Darksaber. So, because I know Frank from my prior time as a licensee, and I had met Spencer, and then I met everyone else. How many people were at that thing? And it had to be 70 people.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Like, it was a lot.
It was a lot. It was Patrick Davis and his wife, Mariah, who Patrick is a fellow Topps artist.
Yeah.
There was so many friends. My cousin came. It was just
like really fun.
It was like 4 tables for the next one.
I'm gonna bring a spool of name tags because I'm also terrible at names. I will literally go like this and try to see your name badge like at a show.
Just by the way, write it in Arabic, please.
Yeah, I can't translate it. Lori, there is an art of Rebels box set.
Lori,
we've talked about it a little bit before.
Yes.
Is yours accessible, Ashlee? Could you reach yours? Mine is like super out of reach. If not, we'll get you a picture.
On the other side of the room. But yeah, we will definitely get you a picture of that.
Yeah. There's 2 versions, right? Like a super hefty, expensive version, and then a more manageable version, right?
Right. So the deluxe version comes in like a slipcase cover that has the lightsabers crossing. So it's like Kanan's lightsaber, and I think I want to say the Inquisitors. I haven't looked at it in a while. But
it's red and blue.
Yeah,
it's got to be an Inquisitor.
Yeah. So it's those lightsabers on the cover, and it lights up. Yeah, and it's cool. Really well done. It comes with a folio of Dave Filoni sketches from Twilight of the Apprentice. It's just so well done. I have that one as well, but it's kind of stashed away in a box right now. And
let's see how this looks on video after that. Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
It's heavy. I know. I'm sorry. There we go.
I'm putting it up against my chest, otherwise it's going to disappear.
Ooh, buddy. That's cool.
Yeah, I've got the big boy version. I always say that this item for me has inadvertently become one of those things where it's like to have but not to hold, where I don't use it that much. Like I've looked at it, but I've like literally put on gloves while looking at it because of my greasy fingers. And I'm like, I don't want to ruin this thing. I asked for this for my birthday, for my 40th birthday from my sister. I was like, hey, buy me something nice. Like, like truly. I was either her or my husband who was going to get it for me because it was a hefty purchase. It was a few $100. And so my sister bought it for me as a gift, which was really nice.
I think that one was $90 when I pre-ordered it.
This one? I think I must have paid retail and maybe it was like $200.
I got it on Amazon and it was like $90 when I pre-ordered it. Or 85 or something in that ballpark.
Jeff put the link in, it looks like, for the
Jeff.
set. I love it. I mean, there's so much in here. They have character models and just, especially if you're an artist like Ashlee. You said you have a working version.
Right. I have a regular version that doesn't have such a fancy slipcase and light up cover. It's just a plain cover. It looks just like my shirt. It's all of them, and they're standing in a field at sunset. It's really cool. But it's it's just as intensive and, you know,
It's just the
packed.
packaging that's the difference.
Yeah, it's just packed with so much information. Sketches from Dave, sketches from the crew, full character model turnarounds. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
So,
the stuff that's in there, they went all out. They treated it like a marquee movie release.
yeah.
Because there isn't one of these, I think, for Resistance. And I don't even think they did a comprehensive one on the Clone Wars yet, because I mean, obviously it just ended, but
Not of the new stuff. They did
Yeah.
one in the past that like a really, really fancy one that a friend of mine has a Dave Filoni sketch on, actually.
oh, that's
And I'm so
cool.
jealous. It was like the really nice slipcase version. But it's about the movie and about like the first 6 seasons of the series. So they might go back in and just redo it, but that'd be really
Yeah,
cool to see.
I would love that. So yeah, highly recommend for the Rebels fan in your life. Lori's saying she's going to get it for herself for her 40th.
Yes.
Who needs a birthday? I demanded it as a gift, but like, you know, get your tax returns or whatever. But
Or have
so
it be Saturday or
There you
whatever.
go.
Just a day. You're having a
just
bad day, go
celebrate.
shopping.
It's Life Day again. It's Empire Day. It's one of those fake holidays. Labor Day is coming, so there's always something to celebrate. Meanwhile, I do love Sabine and Zeb have to work on this force field thingamajig, and apparently that's straight out of another video game, the reference or whatever. And it's really cool looking, is what I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, I like the way that looks. I didn't think much else of like the background on that, but it was neat.
Now, seeing what Kanan can do now with the Force since he's been blinded by Maul, do you think he's become more in tune with the spiritual side of the Force that he probably blocked out for so long?
I think so. I think there's two things happening. I think the blinding was definitely a moment where he's like forced himself to reconnect with the Force because he literally can't see, but now he has a different type of sight. But he's also been training Ezra now for a couple of years. So the way that Ezra's been progressing, I think that Kanan's like basically getting all of his powers back.
Yeah.
Like Kanan was a pretty powerful Padawan and then suppressed it for so long he regressed in his training, just like Cal Kestis. And I think Kanan is back to like superpower strength. Although they did say, you know, he's no Skywalker. And it's like, you're right.
Yeah,
he isn't.
That's my favorite line. Kanan's like,
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's like, you bitch. It's like, but you know what though? Like, no one was Skywalker. Like, Ahsoka wasn't Skywalker. Obi-Wan wasn't Skywalker. Like, Anakin Skywalker is meant to be the Mary Sue. Like, his only flaws are that he's angry and like he jumps in head first too frequently, right? But like, he's kind of unstoppable, almost to the point where like, and we know as the audience he can't lose because it's a prequel series, but like he doesn't lose. He's sort of unbeatable, unstoppable, and he's almost overpowered as a character, and that's by design. And so no one's going to live up to who Anakin Skywalker is.
Yeah,
headstrong.
But you know what? It's not a matter of who's most like Anakin Skywalker. It's about who does the most good for the galaxy. So
yeah.
And
I like this, the way that Freddie was like hovering the tree branch and everyone's gonna walk over it. Like, that's a lot of balance and skill, and he could never have done this in season 1. Like, his powers were just like not that fine-tuned.
And even Ezra here, poor Chopper, even Ezra here, like, he used the Force to kind of feel where the bug was and jumped up that Jedi jump and got him.
Which I will say, I'm glad we don't see that all that often. That Jedi jump thing I never liked in the prequels. And it overpowers the characters. Like,
it's like the super speed a little bit.
Like, and maybe you could do a quick sprint and not get like super worn out. I did see the funniest meme today, and it was me doing cardio. You know, me just me doing cardio, and then my heart. If you don't stop, I will. I was like, I feel that.
Yes,
but but like. I don't love when it feels almost cartoonish, the powers. Like, you know, the floating rocks actually seem like weirdly more grounded than the high jumping.
All right. So we've come to the end of Ghosts of Geonosis Part 1. So are we going to go right into the next episode?
What's your timestamp right here?
Here it says play next episode in 14 seconds.
All right, let's I think we should all right, everyone, catch up, and we should go right into it. Do you want to do like a
Yeah,
A 10-second
just let me.
countdown.
I
Yeah, let's
will. Yeah, just gotta sort this out here. Sorry,
everyone
guys.
get back out to the menu. I'm just having so many troubles with my T plus. There we go. And we'll give everyone 10 seconds to catch up. And we can talk about what we think in that first episode. I think it introduces a lot of interesting dynamics to explore as we go through the rest of the series.
Right, and you also see them kind of split up into parties of 3. You see Saw and Rex and Kanan just kind of figuring it out, like what's going on. You see Sabine and Zeb trying to get that shield
force field working.
generator and up and working, but also like all these droidecas are like, coming at them.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
A lot. And then you see just Chopper and Ezra just on the hunt and trying to figure out what this
Trying to
bug
help
is doing
Click-Clack.
and what he's
Yeah.
Well, we don't know yet, but
Right, we don't know his
ultimately,
intentions. I will tell you. All right, let's do the countdown. And I'll tell you my thoughts because I remember being a licensee when this went live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
Okay, so jumping into Ghost of Geonosis Part 2, I believe they aired this as a 2-part situation on the night of the premiere. And I remember doing a live tweet with the episode for the premiere. I made it a point that this was back when it was Friday nights on Disney XD. I used to plan my evenings where I would be home for the 8:00 showing, get home from work, I would eat dinner or whatever, get settled, do my half an hour or hour-long tweet along, especially if it was an important episode, and then go out and do like social stuff or whatever. And sometimes if I wasn't going out, I'd stick around for the West Coast showing. I even gave away trading cards on Twitter. It was a wild time back in like 2016 at Darth Vonal and Twitter.
Wish I knew you then.
I know. Well, I'll still have some cards I can send you.
Oh, sweet.
But like, that's the kind of thing where, oh, geez, the cats are in here now. How'd you get in?
Broken.
Chaos over here. But when the episode aired, I was like literally live tweeting in the reaction, like in the moment. I was like, what would I do? And I was like, I'm Team Saw Gerrera, crack that egg. And I started using the hashtag crack that egg because I had enough of the Geonosians. Like I was like, here we go. He's drawing the circle. So that's the Death Star. Like, you can't tell me that little circle inside the circle. He's trying to tell them that, like, they built this thing. It's no longer here. That's what did this to this planet, but he can't communicate. And this is where you actually start feeling sympathetic for him, because it turns out that I think the Geonosians were, like, not 100% complicit, but they were probably exterminated, and they weren't necessarily. They were probably, the corrupt government leaders of the Geonosians, like, their leaders probably, like, forced all this on like the everyday citizens, and they didn't know what they were doing, what they were building, right? Like,
right.
But at the time I was like, they created the Death Star, like they deserve what they got. I was like not having it. If you go back and read my old tweets, but by the end of the episode, you feel through the eyes of Ezra that Ezra understands the sympathy. Oh, by the way, look at this hologram.
Oh
yeah,
Stila.
Yeah, where it all started, really. So they redesigned her character model slightly, but like, this is a big deal. For anyone who didn't know who this is his sister from who we met in the Clone Wars originally, who really would have been like a leader of the Onderon rebels if she weren't accidentally killed in that conflict.
Oh, that was such a brutal episode.
I did not see that coming when that episode aired. And it's what set Saw down this path. Like, he was a reasonable person in the Onderon arc of Clone Wars until Stila is killed. And then from there, like, you see what happened to him. He becomes a terrorist, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he's on the side of the rebellion, but, at the same time, he just did not care. He saw his sister as a casualty of war. And that's what the Empire thought of her, and that's what the rest of the rebellion thought of her, and he just was not having it. And
so he has not a one-way feud, but he's feuding with the Empire for his entire life after that. First it's with the Republic, and then it's with the Empire. So,
but he's also feuding with the rebellion to an extent, because he tells Mon Mothma in an episode she's not doing enough.
Yeah. Oh,
Totally.
we're gonna get to that. That's still on our Andor August Plus.
I love that episode, so I'm so excited for it. But yeah,
It's gonna be really good. Oh yeah, so Scooby is pointing out with Saw Gerrera, now former clone captain Rex, and Kanan Jarrus, like interesting combination of people in the rebellion. And I think that's almost like the thesis statement of Andor. Like, what does it take to build a rebellion? You need people in government. You need people who have insider info. You need military. You actually need extremists. I hate to say it out loud, but like the rebellion would not be as successful without people like Saw, who are like willing to go places where Mon Mothma wouldn't. You need all these different types who can contribute. And I think Andor is going to be the glue that holds a lot of them together. He's military, he's espionage. He's probably more so thinking that he wants to be like Mon Mothma while forced to behave like Saw Gerrera. Like those conflicts are going to come into play on screen, and we're going to watch it play out. We've seen what Andor can do. He killed that dude in the opening of Rogue One, right? He just like shot him because like it was a liability. Yeah. You have to get to that point, because I don't think that's the first person he killed. So will we see him make his first kill on screen?
Maybe. I think so. But I think poor Click Clack here. He's trying to maintain the shield generators and those droid decas to protect the egg. Like it's all about protecting the egg. Yeah,
I feel for him. After being very angry with him for a half an hour and everyone else.
And then you get to this episode and you're like, oh.
I know. And Ezra was right, though. Ezra was able to feel in the last episode. This is what Scooby was saying about like the problem with language and the gap in communication there, not being able to speak the same language. But Ezra can feel that this guy's not a threat. He's scared. He's not devious. We need to help him. And we all have a similar goal. Like this guy just wants to protect his egg and his people. He's a casualty in all of this as well. Sort of goes back to almost like the heroes on both sides that I watched on Thursday with the VCN boys when we were doing our watch along. Like they were good separatists. Not everyone was just signing up for war.
And I think Ezra's abilities that Kanan was teaching him in earlier episodes, like how to just not react with anger and frustration, but how to like just reach out with your feelings and learn to communicate through your feelings and through the Force is incredibly beneficial to them here. Yeah.
There's a real maturity that comes with season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. Like
Absolutely.
We've watched a couple watch alongs now from season 1, and there's some really goofy moments, and you could tell who the target audience is. And then even in season 2, when things get serious with the Inquisitors, there's still an underlying current of like it's kind of a kid's show. Season 3 takes a really big swing into dark territory. I would argue these episodes are like among the darkest because it's just human interactions of people behaving badly. Like Saw Gerrera is totally willing to squish this bug and exterminate the rest of the species because he's not getting exactly what he wants right now in the moment. He has no patience for whatever else is happening, and he does not care that he cannot communicate with this alien. And Ezra has to stop him. So it shows you the different pieces of the puzzle. And what he's going to be willing to do against his actual enemies. This guy isn't even really an enemy. He's just an annoyance.
Yeah.
Imagine. And meanwhile, he's been stuck there too. He's aggravated. He's tired. He's exhausted.
He lost his whole crew to, the droids and everything. So, but he wasn't armed. He wasn't armed with the knowledge that Ezra has. Right. Like he didn't know why they were there. He didn't know why there were droids coming after him. He's angry because he's being attacked.
Yeah. So, oh boy, there's a lot of good themes in this episode that I think extrapolate into larger pieces of Star Wars franchise, including what we're going to see in Andor.
I love how there's like a bounty on the ghost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That must be like traumatizing for him to be like, this is where Agent Callus and I nearly died, which we do have to watch that at some point. Yeah, Robert is saying Saw his victory at any cost, no better than the Empire. Right. At what point? Right. I always say this thing, and I don't want to get political on here. Star Wars is political, but in real life politics, the more extreme you get, it's not linear. It actually starts to curve back around. So you can find yourself at a place like where it's almost like a circle, where like the extreme right wing domestic terrorist and then the extreme left wing anarchist still brings you up to the same place of like bomb the Capitol. Like you still get there. It's just a different path that gets you there. Like it's circular, it's not linear. And that's the danger. Like once you start understanding that you're being manipulated through propaganda, like, and what you're willing to do, like whichever side you're following can still bring you there if you don't stop yourself somewhere through. Like there comes a point where you decide, are we going to, be violent and take lives potentially? And we're going to see that in Andor. I can't wait. Like I got to tell you, because this is like, it's weirdly real. Like this, I look at Andor and it looks like shockingly believable at every level.
Yeah. I still don't know how they fit this ship down there.
It doesn't make any kind of sense, but Hera's a great pilot, so I'll go with it, right?
Yeah, I just roll with it. But
Yeah.
again, like having the Imperial ship follow them down this hole, I'm like, did this hole get bigger?
Yeah, it doesn't make any kind of sense. Yeah. Crack that egg. Crack that egg. I'm gonna have to find my old tweets to prove that I'm not lying about this, but I remember vividly being very upset. And then I had to like immediately be like backtrack, be like, oh, maybe don't crack that egg. Sorry, Matt Wood.
Yeah, sorry. But I know that Ezra, like Click Clack knows Ezra can understand him and Ezra is able to communicate with him. And that's why he's shoving Ezra to follow him.
Yeah, it's smarter to follow Ezra. I'd rather be on Ezra, Kanan, and Rex's side, clearly. As much as Saw Gerrera is an important character and someone that I think you really do, unfortunately, need some of that extremism. When you're in a war like this, when you're so outnumbered and just you have no chance of recourse. You see it in the trailer for Andor, that one woman looking up against that giant ship. Like, what do? Like, you have to turn to violence. You have to become an extremist. Otherwise, you're just going to be subjugated. You could see that there were some planets on there that looked like they had been pillaged. Like there was a mining operation on a planet that like might have actually had resources that were useful for the population living there, but they're not there anymore.
I hope it's not Jeddah.
It could be, but I think they are saying they're going to explore like a lot of new places, but they'd be stupid not to show us Jeddah and any other place we've seen before. Like we need like a good before and after.
I swear to God, if Chirrut and Baze show up, I'm going to lose my damn mind.
I hope so. I hope that for you more than anyone else, because I know you are wishing for them. I've got a couple other people on my short list of weird ones. Aside from like the obvious, like I think they should just throw in Ahsoka because at this point, like why not? Like she's a fulcrum. I'd love to see like another Leia, yet another actress taking on that role of like what age she would be. It wouldn't be the same girl who's in Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously, but I'd be fine with that small role. Almost Easter eggy. I want to see Breya. Because if we're going to see Bail, we better see Breya. And we just saw both of them. Like, just port them over, throw them down the street, and put them on a different set. And, like, let's see what's up. I think things like that, like, why not show us Aunt Beru? Like, everyone fell in love with her again. I know that there's no story on Tatooine necessarily, but, like,
well, maybe she checks in.
Yeah. Maybe she's secretly part of the rebellion. That'd be amazing. How about Beru crew for the rebellion? I just want to put Bonnie Piez in everything.
Can we make Beru crew shirts?
Yes. Oh my God. So, the next convention coming up. So tell everyone why we're going to Boston.
Okay. Fan Expo Boston in a couple weeks. Ewan McGregor. Get excited. But also, Mark is going for a very special reason. Tell them what the reason is.
I'm going to see Catherine Tate. I don't know who this Ewan McGregor person is, but he's definitely the second fiddle to Catherine Tate. Catherine Tate, who is my Donna Noble, my favorite companion for Doctor Who. All-time favorite season is Tennant and Tate. Like they rock. So I'm very excited to finally meet her, get a photo op and all that stuff. And we're turning it into like a big VCN weekend. So Spencer's going to be there. Frank is going to be there. Apparently, a lot of the Rhode Island Comic-Con crew will also be at Fan Expo Boston, which is the 14th or the 20th.
I think it's the 14th through the 16th.
Yeah. So, that weekend, right? Because it's in 2 weeks.
Right.
Which is why I ended up not going to Connecticut last weekend. It's okay, weekend,
I forgive you.
Yeah, it ended up being a big family weekend too, so I was out with my sisters. But
that's awesome.
I got to spend time with my nieces. It was actually really nice. But I'm excited about Boston. My husband and I are both going. We're doing a 3-day weekend, so we're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wonderful.
So that'll be really fun. And I know we'll be there for the meetup. There's a meetup that's been announced. I think they just put it on Twitter today. Do you remember the details?
I just know it's I think at 8:00 on Saturday night, but I'm going to have to look at where. So.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up on the Twitter. By the way,
Robert says no more Tatooine.
people are fighting on Tatooine or not Tatooine. In all honesty, like I kind of don't need to go back to Tatooine. All the more reason why Bonnie P has to just call up Mon Mothma and be like, "Girl, we have plans." Yeah, where's this? Oh, here we go. Friday, August 12th, at MJ O'Connor's at
there we
9
go.
o'clock in Boston. So
So
the
it's
expo is the 12th through the
12th,
14th.
14th. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So Friday, August 12th, come meet us. Come meet me and Ashlee. Maybe
Yeah.
we should record like a 5-minute thing or something. And certainly we should do photo ops with everyone. We should set up a website where you can get a picture and an autograph. Oh, we could sign our little business cards. That'd be really cute. That would be obnoxious and cute.
Yeah, so
that'd be really fun. But here's the thing: as an artist, people actually really want your autograph. They want your art and they want you to sign your art. So you must have thousands of autographs in the market, right?
Most likely. Like I know there's at least a few hundred sketch cards and a couple hundred prints,
and whenever you make a print, you sign them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
They're out there.
You can Google and eBay for Ashlee Brand. So you're going to get hits the same way you'll see me on YouTube.
Yes.
More of my press went up from San Diego, which is very exciting. It's weird to like watch yourself on screen though. Like I usually rewatch our episode to take notes on things we want to do different for next time, or things I forgot to say from like the show notes, or like, oh, that opened up a thread and we need to go back to it. But like, it's like my voice doesn't sound like that, and my mannerisms aren't that manic. And it's like, yes, both of those things, yeah, they are.
They are true.
Yes,
it's all good. I love this episode because you get to see how good of a pilot Hera is, even under duress. She's in that hole. She's got jet troopers shooting at her. She's got like the Empire above her blocking from coming up out of the hole, and she's finding a way.
People on top of the ship.
Seriously, like Hera is queen.
Yeah, she really is. I'd put her up there with Han for sure.
Oh yeah,
and I think
Jeff says that earlier. Like, I like the ghost similarities to the Falcon, and it's a lot more than just like the ship being like wanted by the Empire. It's the pilot. The pilot has a knack for escaping everything. So
the ship is usually defined by the pilot, and in the case of the Falcon, it's very Han, and in the case of the ghost, it's very Hera. And actually, I just love Sabine flying around in her jetpack. Everyone's at like the height of their powers in this episode. Kanan is kicking all the ass with the Force. Ezra is showing like Force capabilities, especially with his empathy and his ability to feel, which is something that he was struggling with a lot through season 1. Sabine flying around with her jetpack.
Ezra
Zeb really shines in this episode. He's like just your utility player. Like he's not just muscle, but he's muscle. He's shooting. He's like taking care of people. He's doing a little bit of everything. And then Hera flying the ship. Like, man, this is like peak Rebels. And now we got a debrief. It's time for the staff meeting. Oh, he's so obnoxious.
Chill, Saw, chill.
Yeah.
Listen to click clack. Also, can we just please appreciate Sabine's badass armor? I seriously love the season 3 armor.
Yeah.
If I ever made a kit for myself, it would be that one.
Unfortunately, when I look at our helmet lineup, it's just seasons 2 and 4. I don't know why we didn't do season 3. I have to look into what the situation is there, but it doesn't mean we couldn't.
Yeah, and there's also going to be like, you might get a look at the epilogue helmet in Ahsoka. So that's entirely possible too.
Yeah, I would like to jump straight to that one because seasons 2 and 4 have pieces on the back order that we have to deal with. But like the live action would be brand new. And I will say there were Imperial officer uniforms in the Andor trailer that looked a new color. I was like, what's this? I swear I looked at it on my phone and I was like, this just a bad lighting or something. I was like, that's the olive gray. And I was like, no, it's not. It's like a light blue gray something.
Yeah.
And then I watched it on our big TV and I was like trying to snip the photo. I was like, what color is this? And then there's one that has like black cuffs and like shoulder things and like all this stuff. So I was like, I need to talk to someone about what's going on with these uniforms because we just did our regular lineup for Imperial uniforms. But if there are variations, I want them, like, and we need to get on them like right away, especially if they're going to be similar patterns. We can like churn those out. That, and I need Andor's coat, that black and red one that we saw from like that other trailer, that big still they released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how Saw finally realizes that it's the Empire he needs to fight, not the victims of the Empire. Yeah. But those canisters have to be the gas that
Yeah,
ruined his breathing and that he needs that suit.
it's the gas that exterminated all these Geonosians, and it's certainly the gas that's going to lead to his disability. Yeah, I. It's just terrible because also like there's a lot of foreshadowing in this episode, and with him drawing the circle, like no one knows what it is. We all know what it is because production order and we're viewers. But like they don't know what's coming, and it's just it's like, oh, you're so close. We spent so
Yeah.
much time on Geonosis and Attack of the Clones, and then we see them like building the Death Star, and then like, oh, here we go. They're gonna try to just like blow up the whole. They're gonna blow up the whole planet if they could.
Yeah. Also, I love the TIE fighter scorekeeping on the top of the the Ghost. Like how many TIE fighters they shot down on the Ghost.
Yeah, they got a lot at the end of season 1. I remember that was a big win for them. Take out the hive. Yeah, look, I don't like those bugs. I stand by that, but like there's only one left, and if they hatch a queen somewhere, maybe they can go rebuild something better. You have the lesson learned of like, hey, don't partner with someone like Count Dooku, who's no longer alive, and the Empire's evil.
Yeah, do some
Yeah.
good. Save the world.
Yeah,
Save the whole galaxy. I think they both learned. They both learned like Click Clack not to trust the Empire, and Saw to just realize that victims of the Empire are not the enemy.
yeah. I'm curious to see what would happen if you ran into Saga, if Saw Gerrera ran into Ahsoka, because that's certainly possible during the Andor series.
Yeah.
Like the
Hell,
last time they saw
we
each
might
other
even
was
see it in
Onderon.
Ahsoka. We don't know.
Well, he'd be dead by then,
Oh,
unless it
that's
was a
right.
flashback.
No. Yeah, that's entirely
Yeah,
possible.
which is why I thought it might happen in Andor. I can't wait to get to our prediction show because that will be. Oh, thank you, Spencer.
They
And
lost the
Scoob.
canister.
Send us all the
Aw, thanks,
positive
Spencer.
thoughts.
Yes.
Now that we have to go into Andor plus August. Andor August plus.
And our August Plus.
Yeah,
There were-
exactly.
Forget Disney Plus. Well, actually,
Yeah.
no, don't forget Disney Plus because we need that right now.
We need that right now. Yes. I'm telling you this, something's gonna happen with Bad Batch. It's gonna be a thing. We should do one episode that's like Bad Batch oriented, leading up to Bad Batch in this mix of Andor Plus or something. This is what the big meeting was before why we were 3 minutes late, trying to figure out how what the plus is in the Andor August Plus.
Right.
There we go.
I
We gave Click
apologize.
Clack a survival chance.
I apologize for my shaky camera. My cat has discovered that I am home and she is rubbing her face against my laptop.
Oh, that's awesome. My
Yeah.
my cats they were here a minute ago. They caused a ruckus and then left, which is very cat-like, right?
Totally is.
Yeah, she has issues. See, Hera immediately is like, that man's a problem. Because she's seen this.
Yeah,
Like,
and she's also in deeper with the rebellion than the others, and
Yeah.
she has to keep her secrets
Yeah.
ultimately to protect them. But yeah, it's just
Great
this whole thing
episodes.
sets up so much good stuff.
Yeah. And this really feels like the springboard into the Rogue One stream. Like Rogue One and Rebels are cousins. Like they live so close to each other, and there's so much content right on top of each other. Which is why we're doing our Andor August to like lead up to this.
Yes.
And then the news now that we need to extend that is
Andor
exciting in some
August,
ways.
and then
Yes.
some, according to David. Agreed.
Yeah. And Spencer saying we can plot it when we're in Boston, which
Yeah.
that could be fun too. So by the way, if you are going to meet us in Boston, and I mean this in all sincerity, like please come say hello to us. I will
Yeah.
remember no one's names. So I'm telling you that now because I'm terrible with names. But I'm going to
Well, that's why you have me.
Yeah. Like, Ashlee, who's this person? So we're going to definitely be at the meetup on Friday night. I have no work to do, by the way, at this convention. My only thing is to go meet Catherine Tate.
He gets to be an ultimate Catherine Tate fanboy. It's
Yeah.
fantastic, and I
It's
love
gonna
it.
be really fun. And I'm sure that with the rest of the VCN people roaming around, there'll be other Star Wars adjacent activities. And there are several
Yeah.
people at that show who are Star Wars actors. So I may just tag along with people and wander around and enjoy the show, kind of like Rhode Island Comic Con. That's the last convention I
Yeah.
went to that I wasn't like actually working in some form.
So
It's
I got
been a
on the
while.
artist. Oh yeah, it has been a while. It's been a couple of years since you
Yeah.
went, right?
Well, Rhode Island last
Oh,
year,
you did
but-
go last year. I didn't
Yeah.
see you.
No, no, Rhode Island this past November, like a year ago.
Oh yeah, I
you
saw
there.
you at the
Yeah.
party, but I didn't see you
Yeah.
like wandering around the floor.
Oh,
but-
yeah, not on the floor.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing
Yeah.
Spencer and a few of the other boys.
Yeah.
I didn't have your number yet. That's why.
That's right.
So this was before we had teamed up as a co-host. This was in the before times. So the before Rebels Revisited era when Ashlee and I knew each other through other people, and of course, like through the Tops connection.
Through Tops, yeah.
But I didn't realize you were even at Rhode Island until like the meetup, right? And I was
Right.
like, oh my God, like everyone's here. Patrick was there. There were several people. I was like, Tops. And you recognize names, and it's like, oh my God, we really all do work in this crazy extension of the brand. Like,
Yeah,
whether
but it's so good to have like the family together and put faces to the names
Exactly.
and ask how everybody's doing, especially like last year after the pandemic where it was just like everybody was worn out and they just needed that sense of community again.
Yeah.
But
More
I
than
got
ever.
I got on the artists alley wait list for Rhode Island. So hopefully,
Nice.
fingers crossed, I can get
Yeah.
my table.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could work
See.
that show, because I think that show is I don't even want to call it up and coming because it's 10 years now and it's already a big show. I think it's an established show and it's worth going. Like
It's
there's a list
so
of
worth
shows
going.
where it's like
Yeah.
there are some shows where it's like and then others that are like almost too much. And then this one is like solidly in the like worth going. I don't know how artists do in that space, but I can tell you every actor I know who has been to Rhode Island has performed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rhode Island goes all out with their guest lists for their actors
Yeah.
and celebrities and stuff. And it's not just
Gotten better every year.
major popular shows, it's across like all eras of television and movies. Like we have,
Yeah.
I met Henry Winkler there years back,
They
Margot
always do a big-
Kidder.
Yep.
It's,
Oh, we met Margot Kidder there.
yeah.
We met the woman who plays Jem from Jem and the Holograms.
Yeah. Samantha Newark. She's
yeah.
a sweetheart. And
Super nice.
Honestly, my childhood, and Voices of Invader Zim and Gurr from Invader
Yep.
Zim, like all these incredible voice actors and celebrities go to that show. So it's worth the draw, and it's always
including
been a
a healthy
favorite
quantity
of mine.
of Star Wars people.
Yeah, and it's always been such an awesome show to visit and to see people. And Freddie Prinze, hello.
That's going to be exciting.
Ah,
He doesn't do conventions all that often. It took a little bit of arm
Right.
twisting to get him to that first celebration in 17, and then
Right.
to go back in 19. So he doesn't do them
Mhm.
often. And in fact, if you are a
Yeah.
Rebels fan, and you must be if you're watching us, like go get him on something, because I don't know, like he doesn't do a lot of signings. Like it's actually hard to get him in person. Lori
So
wants to
I
know if
have,
you're going
like-
back to Cleveland.
Cleveland Comic-Con. We did Fan Expo Cleveland a couple months back. That was a cool weekend con-wise, but it was personally, it was not a good weekend for me. My dad passed away that weekend and I couldn't get a flight home until the following Monday after it. So it was hard, but it's a good show. I do that one. We'll
I didn't
see
realize
if I
that was
can.
that same weekend. I completely
Yeah.
forgot.
We were setting up and I got the phone call and it was it was a really hard weekend. But yeah, it's as far as like conventions go, if you have a celebrity and they're coming to a show and it's something that doesn't really do a lot of conventions, definitely get on that. Like I have a copy. It was like an old variety show that was on Cartoon Network years ago called The Brack Show. And they kind of set it up to be like a variety show at first. And they had Freddie Prinze Jr. as a guest on there. And he was like hitchhiking on the side of the road and Brack pulls up in a little tiny pickup truck and he's like, Freddie, down here in the truck. And they sing a whole song. It's like a round song called Driving
cute.
Down. It's called Highway 40. And it's just so goofy and they're singing. And I was like, you know what? I have that CD. I've had it since I was 17. I kind of want to bring it. Maybe like freak the hell out of Freddie seeing it. Like if he's ever, I don't know if he's ever signed one or what, but
I doubt it. I bet you he would like lose his mind because he's such a geek.
Yeah.
I mean that in the best way. Like
That's
I think
a deep
he would
cut.
really enjoy that. Yeah. People really love that stuff. I know that Sam Witwer, whenever someone would ask him about like one of his like weirder off projects or like a gaming thing that he had done
like
or
the
something that was like
D&D
Twitch.
cookbook.
Yeah, like weird stuff like that. He loved that. So that weird deep cut kind of thing. Yeah.
And-
yeah,
yeah.
Dave's right. The voice actors are always great to meet too. and there's usually like a good number of them at these like mid-tier conventions.
Oh,
Like I would call
cool.
Rhode Island and Boston like mid-tier, like in terms of size and scale. Like if San Diego Comic-Con is like the big one, C2E2
Yeah,
is a big one, New York Comic-Con, which we'll be at, is that'll be my next working con for
that is
sure.
a big one.
Yeah.
I
But I'm
don't
excited
know
to go
if
to
I'll be
Boston
at
and not
that one.
work at New York.
Yeah, yeah, and not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
A friend that I would usually work for, I don't think is doing the show that weekend, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully I can just
Yeah.
figure something else out, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about our upcoming calendar now that it's August Andor plus. Not a lot's changing on our end, by the way. We're just going to extend. So we did in the name of the we did go to Geonosis this week. That was today, Monday, August 1st. We have to add 3 weeks to the schedule, basically. So next Monday, August 8th, and this is the one that I'm like losing my mind over it. I know Ashley's very excited about it too.
Yes.
Secret Cargo, which is the Mon Mothma episode. Secret Cargo. I
Oh
love
my
it. I
God.
love it. I love it. And we're just going to talk about how much we love Mon Mothma. So it is going to be a Mon Mothma love fest. So this trailer actually couldn't have come out at like a better time because she's getting a lot of buzz from the trailer. So love Genevieve, love the character. Very excited to talk all things Mon
So glad
Mothma.
she's back. Oh,
Yeah,
so glad
and
she's
back
back.
in like a big way. Like she is really, it's gonna be her, like her and Diego carrying the show, along with Stellan Skarsgård. Is like that's a good thing to like hang your hat on.
Yeah,
so we
he
got
just gets all the franchises lately. Marvel, Star
Yeah,
Wars. It's like just give him all to Stellan. He's got
he's
Dune.
got,
He's
like-
in Dune.
that's right. Yeah, he's got gravitas, you know.
Totally.
So Monday, August 8th, join us. So next Monday, August 8th, join us for Secret Cargo. And then the following Monday, we're still going to do In the Name of the Rebellion, which is the two-parter where Mon Mothma and Saw Gerrera throw down. It is like the battle of the ages. And now that we met Saw, we saw what a jerk he is. Then we're going to meet Mon Mothma, and then we're going to see them fight. So that's a great setup right there. And then we have on Monday, August 22nd, The Occupation and Kindred. There's also another episode that features Mon Mothma, and then there's other episodes we're going to mix in. So instead of those, we're going to keep that August 22nd. Instead of doing our Andor prediction show on Monday, August 29th, we're just going to bump that to the Monday before the premiere of Andor. So that'll be Monday, September 19th. That means we have 3 other weeks to fill in with Andor related content or Rogue One related content. So I think we're going to do an episode about Agent Callus and how he goes from being an Imperial to being a rebel, which I think is going to be a theme within the Andor show.
Right.
So we'll probably slot that in. You know, he's one of the newer rebel members.
Actually, yeah,
you know.
there's 2 episodes that we could do with that. We
Yeah.
could do the episode where he gets trapped with Zeb on Geonosis.
Yeah.
That changes his mind, and then when it's revealed that he's Fulcrum.
Yeah.
Like that,
which is through Imperial eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The total flip of him, and they didn't even see it coming. But you know what? He hit change of conscience, change of heart.
I think we should slot that in for the 29th. I'm going to put this in as like celebrating Callus. It's International Callus Day.
Hot
and
Callus weekend.
Yeah. And then, of course, like because we're a Monday show, holidays actually matter. And we have Labor Day mixed in. So we're going to have to do a pre-record for one of these. So we'll figure out like a fun list. It might just be our favorite like Saw Gerrera, Mon Mothma moments. And then like the week after that is almost time for our prediction show. So we've only got to really add like a little bit of content to our August Andor plus. But if you guys have any ideas of something you'd like us to cover, like if you thought something was missing from the original slate, or if there's like a discussion that you want us to do, like there's already been a very good episode of Unifying Force about the factions of the rebellion. But I wonder if we do something similar based on like the factions of the rebellion within Rebels. And who like the major players are like right before we get to Andor. Like that can be interesting. So, but up to you guys, like send us some ideas.
Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you want us to talk about. Tell us what you appreciate, what you want us to change. Like we're here for you guys just as much as we're here for the show. So just drop it in the comments.
Yeah.
Send us a
Let us know in
message
the
on
comments what you'd like
Twitter, on Instagram, however you want to get in touch with us. We totally appreciate you guys.
Sherry's mentioning the Antilles extraction. And in fact, there is a Wedge Antilles Arc, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Because they introduce him and then they actually keep him around. And even though Wedge isn't like a major player in like the original movies, he's there. But and he's not a major player in Rebels either. I think there's a possibility to do something with Wedge and that because the idea is like the rebellion is building and it's building in various places across numerous streams. And it's all laddering up to eventually getting to the point where when Luke Skywalker finally joins the fight, there's actually an army behind him. Like, how do you get to that point where there's a room full of men sitting there in orange vests, ready to board planes to blow up a Death Star? You have to build to that.
Yeah, and you don't see that in the original Star Wars. And that's what I love so much about Rebels and Clone Wars. You see the build to that. And also in Rogue One, like it just...
I almost want to do it. So there's going to be a VCN viewing of Rogue One. I think they'll push it out now, probably to better adjust to this new timeline of September 21st. But like, by the way, I was on last Thursday, the watch along for anyone who might have seen. I filled in for Dave. We had Jeff and Spencer, and we watched some Clone Wars. And I think they have more Clone Wars this week to watch. I don't think I'll be there this Thursday. I think they've got the whole crew in place. But their content will also continue, and I'll leave it to them on their show to update their calendar, because we are still figuring out ours, as you can tell. So but it's looking good. All right.
Thank you, Lori. She says she's so sorry. She bought my Rebels print at that show in Fan Expo Cleveland, and she absolutely loves it. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Ashlee makes good stuff. Let me tell you.
I have a few more ideas coming in the works. It's just working it out a little bit.
and traveling, right? So it's like, am I working or traveling? Like, it's hard to do both.
And there's going to be big travels coming soon, so it's just I just need to breathe for a second.
Well, on the travel list obviously is Boston. So the assignment for everyone watching, join us next Monday. Monday, August 8th, our usual time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, for Secret Cargo and our celebration of all things Mon Mothma. And then 2 weeks from now in real life, on the 12th, 13th, 14th in Boston, if you're going to Boston Fan Expo, we will all be there. Ashlee's
so excited to see you guys.
Once you know your booth number, you'll have to put it down in the comments for everyone, so we know where to find you and all of that. And then there's a meetup with the VCN boys that I believe Spencer may have organized, or someone from the crew has organized, on Friday, August 12th. So
it's Spencer.
I'm sure. He's very much the social director of the social director of the crew. So we will be there, Ashlee and I, mostly to sign autographs and do photo ops, but also to hang out and meet everyone. I can't wait. I love meeting people in person. That was my favorite part of celebration. So I'm ready to meet the rest of the VCN people.
Yeah, and I really appreciate everybody who came up to the table in San Diego too. We had Robert stop by. I had a few other fans of the VCN stop by the table. It was amazing to see everybody and just kind of get to the West Coast side of the fam for once, because I don't get to do it too often. So when I do, it's always in a big way at San Diego. So I was excited.
My husband just texted me, nobody wants my autograph.
Well, oh, that's cold.
Clearly he's listening from the other room. So
he
very
does.
Nice. Oh, Jeff put the link to the Facebook event meetup, which is great.
Awesome.
So
yes, Lori, more Chopper. It's coming. Yes. I promise. Yes.
But in all seriousness, we will be there in Boston. And then Andor August plus, more to come. All right. Anything else, Ashlee, before we go?
No, I'm just so excited to see you guys in the coming weeks. If anybody's at C2E2 in Chicago and doing that massive Star Wars lineup, please come by the table. I would love to see your photo ops. I can also let you know where we are in Artist Alley. You can come see Joe Crony and myself. I believe it's table S1, but I will keep you guys updated on that.
Put it on your Twitter and your Instagram and everything.
Yeah, so definitely will. But it's going to be an awesome weekend. I'm looking forward to it. And just everybody go there if you're going. Show some love to little Vivian and the Inquisitors, Moses and Rupert. Like, they did a phenomenal job in Kenobi, and Mercedes, and go say hi to her. And Brendan Wayne, the stuntman for The Mandalorian, he's going to be there as well. And I think it's one of his first conventions too. And he's the grandson of John Wayne. They
weren't really letting him do public appearances, but he did a couple private signings. And I don't even remember if they let us put him in licensed product, but they let him do the private signings. But his autograph is still pretty hard to come by, because I think there's still restrictions and stuff. So the fact that they're letting him do that, get it now before it gets shut down. I'm telling you now, as someone with insider info, every now and then, especially on the stunt side, Like they'll be like, oh, you did that thing. Well, you're okay to do it now, but you can't do any more going forward. And before you know it, it's like,
Yeah.
you've seen people attend one convention and then all of a sudden it stops. Like sometimes they're told not to.
Right.
Yeah. And go meet
But
little Leia. Yeah.
go meet Vivian. She's amazing. Go meet Moses. She's also brilliant. And Rupert is
Yes.
just so wickedly evil in that show. I love it. So
It's gonna be great. I'm
looking
sad I'm
forward to
missing it.
seeing you guys. I know, me too.
And you'll be back on Monday.
I'll be
or-
back on Monday.
Excellent.
So
Oh, you
it's like
are
4.5
gigging.
hours away.
Oh
It's
boy,
not fun.
Lady Gaga over here.
Ugh.
Touring. All right, well, we will see everyone next Monday, August 8th, for Secret Cargo. And then again in 2 weeks after that, if you're in Boston, come meet us at the Fan Expo and make sure you visit Ashlee's booth to check out her art.
Yes. Looking forward to seeing you guys. So that's going to do it for this week. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate you watching along and getting geeky with us here. And we hope you join us next week.
Yep. Bye,
May the
everyone.
force be with you. Bye.
1 second.